Hello, and welcome to yet another tutorial. This one is an appendix to the previous tutorial about how to do moves to your credit score on both Japanese versions. This appendix is going to discuss every heap manipulation that has ever been found that is known to work on at least one version. This video is a very important watch if you are somebody who has JP 1.1, because in the original tutorial, I showed a heap that actually only works on 1.0. That was a mistake. I thought it worked on both versions at the time, but it turns out that it doesn't work on 1.1. So you'll need to use one of the heaps in this video instead of that one. And even if you have 1.0, this video could still be a good watch because there's some alternative heaps that you might like better. The one that I show in the tutorial and the one that is going to be at the beginning of this video is still the fastest one, but it does require 2 bomb drops, and there's at least one heap that you could do with only 1 bomb drop. That's a bit slower, but it might be a good option for if you just get really bad RNG. And anyway, so without further ado, let's get started on doing these heaps. So, first off, I'm going to be doing these heaps on my EverDrive with GameShark cheats enabled, but I'm going to be using the vanilla ROM of the game. And the reason I'm doing this is because on KZ, the actual credits warp doesn't work because KZ modifies the actor. Well, it modifies the heap in general, and 2 of the file names in memory are stored in the heap. So they're basically at the wrong address, and you can't actually do the credits warp the way we normally do. So I'm going to be using the vanilla ROM of the game, but it's really nice to have like infinite explosives and stuff like that, so I'm just using GameShark cheats instead for that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, so let's get started. The first heap is the one that's actually in the tutorial video. I'm just going to go through it one more time just for the sake of completeness, since I want this video to show every heap that's known. So this one only works on JP 1.0, so we're going to start that version here. And every time I do this, I need to delete and recreate the one of the file names, so that way we can actually see the credits warp in action. So yeah, fortunately, since I have cheats turned on, I don't have to worry about flipping through observatory because I can just do this. And I don't have to worry about farming for bomb drops because I gave myself infinite health. Okay, so for this heap, it's the one we've already seen before, so you break these 3 pots, and you grab all the drops. And then you're gonna wanna, carry 1 bomb into hideout. And so what I like to do, on the other video I was targeting this box and then backwalking, but this box is kind of far away. This is much closer to the pots. So another thing you can do is target this, do 2 side hops, and then full bomb and backwalk. And then after the explosion, go back into hideout, and then drop a bomb, backwalk, with another bomb, and then drop 3. And then we're going to super slide off the rear pod. And pardon me while I get in break cam, because I have not been having a good day with break cam today. Oops. And then just to prove that this heap manip is working, I'm going to demonstrate the full credits work. Because this should help us avoid the problem of last time where I thought that the heap would work on 1.1, but it didn't. So every heap that I show today, I'm going to prove that the credits work will actually work. And yeah, everything turning black is a good sign that the heap works. Of course, we already knew that this heap worked on 1.0, so it's not that big of a surprise. But yeah, we beat the game. Record time! Just kidding. This is obviously not a valid speedrun because I'm doing it on a flashcart, and I have cheats enabled, and I'm starting from a file that's already done first. Anyway, let's move on to the next heap. So this is the one that we used to use, and it works on both versions. So let me start by showing it on 1.0, just to show that it works on 1.0. And then I'm going to show it on 1.1, again, just to show. I just want this video to prove that each of these heaps works on the versions that I say it does, just to avoid future confusion. So, I need to recreate the spot. Oops. There we go. So yeah, that last heap I'm calling the bomb-only heap, since this is the only heap that we've ever found that only requires bombs. And bombs are like the fastest thing there is out of all the stuff we can allocate, so that's part of the reason why that heap is so darn fast. Okay, so this heap is what I always call the ISoT heap. This was the very first heap we ever did. And this one actually works on both versions. This is the only heap in this entire video that works on both versions. For real this time. Because last time I was actually, I lied about that on accident. So yeah, first thing you're going to do is just drop a bomb and go over here. And then you're going to line up. I like to line up kind of with that, with this drop line here. That's usually a pretty good spot. Drop a bomb and do a charge spin. And then come over here, break the spot, go on the back, and then back, whoops, I made a mistake. You're not supposed to carry that across the plane. You just want to drop it, so... I forgot which heap I was doing for a sec. And then I line up again, and then I face this way, so that way the camera doesn't go towards the balloon, which is really laggy. And then we're going to play Inverted Song of Time. And we need to mash A and B through this cutscene, so that way it ends faster, and we can allocate the memory leak. Okay, so now, same thing, bomb and charge them. Okay, It's a little faster there if you take damage from the bomb, but if you don't, that's also fine. All that matters is that the cutout flux before the bomb explodes. Anyway, so that's the heat, and now we just super slide off the rear pod again. Actually, it looks like it's gonna be a little tight, so I'm gonna do like over here. Oops, okay, so I failed that. But fortunately, this is why I have cheats enabled. Because if I fail like that, then I can just... Oh, no. Okay, I don't think this inverted camera was going to work. I tried to make it work. I don't think it's happening. So unfortunately, I have to get into the thing. Okay, that should work. Oh, that one barely works, but we got it. And again, I'm just going to do this angle. So this is not part of the heaping it, but I just want to prove that these heaps are working. So we're just going to do the credits work every single time. Oh, whoops. I'm just going to redo this angle just in case, because I was a little nervous about my angle last time. Ta-da! So the ISoT heap works in 1.0. Again, we already knew this, but just for the sake of completeness, I'm showing it here. Okay, so next I want to show that the ISoT heap works on 1.1. And the main way you'll know I'm on 1.1 here is that I have to use a different file name to credits work. So it's going to be very similar, but the fourth character is going to be different. So this will be a K instead of what it was before. Also, these heaps that I have, the order that I'm doing them in is purposeful. It is the order in which they were originally simulated. So that the 7 bomb heap is actually extremely old. Like that's from like January or February. But I found it recently and realized that it actually works, and that it was really fast. So, but like the original simulation was a long time ago, and I just found it in some notes somewhere, basically. Okay, so we're just gonna do this heap again. Start the bomb, and then start spin, and then come over here. Oh, whoops. Okay, and then drop bomb again. And then ISoT. The namesake of this heap is inverted sonic time. I've been naming these heaps after what is the slowest part of them. So in the 7 bomb case, it's literally just bombs. So like, even though bombs are the fastest thing, they're just gonna call it the bomb heap. Okay, and then bomb and spin again. Okay. And then we slide up this block. Yeah, and then in this case, the inverted slant of time is the slowest part. So that's why this one I called ISoT hoop. Okay, and I'm on 1.1 now, so I need to do a different angle setup to get the credits for it. That's right. I'm not as experienced with 1.1 because I don't actually have a card of this version. Did I turn there? I think I did. Hopefully I turned. If not, we're gonna crash. Okay, good, I did. So yeah, this heap also works on 1.1, as you can tell by the screen getting very dark. We did it. Okay. So for the next heap, the rest of the heaps in this video are heaps that have not been previously documented in one of my videos before. They're mostly just in like a notes document on my computer. So this will be the first time they're getting shared with the outside world. And so I'm going to put timestamps for all these heaps in the description, just so that way y'all can skip the first two if you're already old pros at them. But anyway, so this next heap is 1.0 only. Most heaps in general will only work on one version of the game. The fact that the ISoT heap works on both is a big coincidence, but it's not indicative of a larger trend. As you can see, again, the ISoT heap is the only one in this list that works on both. Yeah. So now we're back to 1.0. Let's go to the 1.0 file name. So yeah, this one is called the Deku heap, or at least that's what I'm calling it. And it's because this is the only one. This is the only one of the heaps that uses Deku mats. And specifically, it uses Deku mats to shoot a Deku bubble. Deku bubbles are actually a type of arrow in the game. Like their actor ID is the same as for an arrow. They're just like different types of the same actor. So if you had bow, you could use bow instead of Deku bubble, and it would actually make this heap faster and easier to do. But getting bow is really slow, so it's not worth it in like an 80% speedrun. But yeah, anyway, so we're gonna use Deku bubble instead. So let's see, how does this heap start? I need to look at my notes here because I haven't done this heap before. Okay, so enter hideout, drop one bomb, charge spin, enter the... Okay, so first we're gonna enter the hideout. We don't have to do anything in this first room. Just go straight to the hideout. And then it's gonna be a bomb, spin, and observatory. So the same thing we've been doing in the ISoT heap. I didn't get hit by the bomb there. That's fine. Okay, and then we're going to break the rear pot and collect the drop. This is the same as the ISoT heap in a lot of ways. It should be very familiar to you if you're familiar with ISoT 1. Okay, now is when it gets different. Well, I guess the beginning was different too, because we didn't have to drop them. So, anyway, the main difference is here. So, we're going to drop 2 bombs instead of 1 on our way to hideout. There we go. Okay, now this is where the namesake of the heap comes in. So you're going to put on Deku Mask, and you're going to line yourself up like I said, I usually like to do it with that line there. And you're gonna into first person. So the way I like to do this, as you can see, it's like completely black, so we can't see what we're looking at all. The ideal place to aim would be like kind of in the middle of the tunnel. Both left to right, which is the easy one, and vertically, which is the hard one, because we can't see, and Deku is really short. So what I like to do is I start charging the bubble, and I just flick down really quickly to aim up just a little bit. But don't hold it there for long at all, because it's very easy to aim too high, and that'll cause your Deku bubble to break sooner. And if it breaks before you go through the plane, you're in trouble. So yeah, basically I just hold the flick down really quickly. If you're in doubt, flick it for less time. It's better to aim too low than too high, is what I've noticed. And then once I do that, I'm going to take off Deku Mask and drop 2 bombs and then go into Observatory. This one is pretty hard to do because you have to enter Observatory before the Deku bubble pops. And since it's like kind of RNG, like where it goes, you basically just have to be fast if you want to be consistent with it. Otherwise, you're just going to have to hope that you get lucky and get a good trajectory. But if you're fast, you can always get it. So anyway, let's demonstrate this now. So Deku bubble, flick down, take this off, 2 bombs. And then the cool thing about this heap is it actually uses the close pot. So this one is a lot easier to super slide off of. For this pot, I like to drop like kind of where this marking in the floor is, like this U-shaped thing, and put Link's foot on that. Oh, whoops. There we go. Now I'm just going to demonstrate that this growth work is in fact working. This heap uses 6 bombs, including the super slide. So yeah, the bomb only heap uses 7. I'm just going to include the super slide in these numbers because you do have to do the super slide, and it's just convenient to include it with this. Yeah, so the bomb only heap takes 7. That's the one that takes the most bombs. The ISoT heap takes 5. You can technically do the ISoT heap with only 1 drop since it's just, you have to do a different angle setup because you can't use a bomb. Since I do have a video on that different angle setup on my channel already, so you can go watch that if you're interested. The Deku heap uses 6 bombs, so it's 1 more than the ISoT heap. You do need 2 drops no matter what. But it is a little bit faster than the ISoT heap. It's about like 4 to 5 seconds faster. So if for whatever reason you're not interested in the bomb heap, you should be, because it's very fast and very easy. But if you're not, you can do the Deku heap, and it's still faster than ISoT. The other cool thing about the Deku heap is it's the front plot, so if you have trouble super sliding up the back pot, not the back plot, then you should do the Deku heap, because that one works with the front pot instead of the back pot. But yeah, that one's only 1.0 only, so if you're on 1.1 you can't do the Deku heap, it's not going to work. So yeah, let's move on to the next heap. We got 3 more heaps to show. This one is also a 1.0 only heap, and this is the last of the 1.0 only heaps. Everything else will be 1.1 only. So let's get started with 1.0. So this heap that's upcoming that we're going to do, I'm calling the balloon plus 2 ISoT heap. Because like I said, I like to name the heaps after whatever is the slowest thing you do. And there's actually 2 heaps that we know about that use the balloon, so I can't just call it the balloon heap, because that would be confusing, because there's 2 of them, and you wouldn't know what one is talking about. So this one, the slowest thing is the balloon. Well, I don't know. The 2 ISoTs are probably slower than the balloon, but those are definitely the 2 slowest things together as the balloon and ISoTs. So many typos in that particular heap. I was like translating it from like what Kyle's heaps outputs into like human readable language, and I had some problems along the way. Okay, so we're gonna break the rear pot and collect the drop. And then we're gonna break this pot and don't collect the drop. So we're just gonna backlog with this. Okay. And then we're gonna charge a spin. Okay. And now we are going to break the front pot. And we're gonna carry either of these other 2 pots into the hideout with us. So I'll just grab this one. It doesn't matter which one you grab because it's not actually affecting the observatory at all. We're just bringing this because we need to pop this balloon, and the only way human can pop this balloon without bow is with a pop. So we're just going to pop that. And then we're going to come over here, line ourselves up again. And then face the camera so that way we don't have to look at the hideout, which is very laggy. And we're going to play ISoT, drop a bomb, play ISoT, drop a bomb. So we're just going to do the whole shebang twice here. And then enter the hideout after that. Or enter observatory, I mean. Okay, so mash through this. Okay, now drop the bomb, and play ISoT. Ideally, if you can like start the ISoT before the bomb hits the ground, that's better. Just because it gives you a little more time. Drop the bomb, go. Cool. And then now we will super slide off the front. Oops. Okay. And just to prove that this all still works after all the shenanigans with my notes being wrong, show that they're correct now, we're just going to do the credit swap. Oops. Huzzah! It works! So the cool thing about this heap is that it only uses 3 bombs, including the super slide. So you can do this heap with only 1 bomb. And you can still use a bomb to clip into observatory. And you can still use a bomb for the angle setup. So like, yeah, the angle setup without the bomb is not as good. So it's nice to be able to use an angle setup. And clipping to observatory without a bomb requires testing off a real bomb queue, which I personally find easier than testing off a bomb. But I understand that can be harder for some people as well. Or you have to use the Deku both of those things, I can see why you might not want to do them. So that's the great thing about 3-bomb heaps, is that you can do them with 1 bomb drop. So if you only get 1 bomb drop in your first 3 grasses, and you don't want to mess around with like more bomb RNG, you can just go ahead and do this heap. This one only works on 1.0 again, but there are 2 3-bomb heat manips for 1.1. So if you have 1.1, you'll be able to do that as well. But yeah, anyway, speaking of those 2, let's get going on them. So these are the last 2 heat manips. They're both 1.1 exclusive, and they both use 3 bombs, including the super team. So you'll be able to do them with only 1 bomb drop. And the second of these heaps is actually, well, these haven't been like precisely timed, but we think that the second heap in this list is actually the fastest possible heap for 1.1 out of all the ones that we found anyway. So like, if you have 1.1, optimal for you is actually just 1 bomb drop, which is really, really nice. Me, as someone who has 1.0, is not too happy about that. But the upshot to 1.0 is that it is faster. The 6-bomb heap is really, really fast. So yeah, before 1.1 was faster by 2.6 seconds, just because of the walls and observatory being better for 1.1, the angles of the walls. But now, because the bomb only heat unit only works on 1.0, and that one's like so much faster than anything else that's ever been found. 1.0 is faster now. I'm not sure by how much, because it depends how much faster the 6-bomb one, or 7-bomb, is than the one that I'm going to show after this one. So grab any pot, doesn't matter which. Here. Throw it at the balloon. Okay. And now we're going to start to spin. And then we're going to drop 2 bombs. And we're going to come back. And then we are going to break this pot without getting the drop. And then we're going to come back. We're going to wait for that to despawn. Okay, then we're going to break this pot and get the drop. And then we're going to grab this pot and not get the drop. And I have to be fast about the charge spin. Okay. And then... Now we see this spot. The good news is that I have this heat minute down pat, now that I've realized that I just need to be fast about the rupee. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's the right way. Oops. Pretty sure that should be good. And if it's not, I'm gonna have a look at these. wait. Oh, damn it. I don't trust that. Okay. I think I trust this. I think this will do it. Oh no. That looks good. Thank you. Okay, whew. Whew. I think I was just getting the wrong angle from the box. Probably. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna edit out all that stuff in the middle where I was just failing. But this one, so that was the balloon into spin heap. That takes only 3 bombs. So if you only got 1 bomb drop, that is a heap nib you can do instead of the ISoT heap. Remember, the only heap that 1.1 can even do that might require more than 1 bomb drop, depending on how you look at it, is the ISoT heap. And but this one that I just showed and the next one will be only 3 bombs. So you'll be able to do them with no sacrifices with only 1 bomb drop. Anyway, let's get on to the last heap. So it's 1.1 only again. Okay, so this last heap, I'm just calling the 3 spin heap because out of everything it has to do, the spins are the slowest thing. You don't have to pop any balloons, you don't have to play any ISoT, you don't have to shoot any Deku bubbles. So yeah, the slowest things individually are just the spins, which is kind of cool. The spins aren't actually that slow. This heap overall is not significantly faster than the ISoT heap, but it is a little bit faster. And it saves 2 bombs, so you can do it with only 1 drop, which is awesome. It almost makes me wish I had a 1.1 card, because it would be so much less RNG involved. Okay, so for this heap, we're going to drop a bomb, and then enter the hideout here. So let's do that. This is the start of a lot of heap nips, to drop a bomb and enter hideout. And then next is we're just going to allocate a charge to him. And next we want to break off 1 and then collect the drop. And then, so break the front pot, collect the drop, and then we're going to drop the rear pot in between the points. So let's demonstrate that. So break the front pot, collect the drop, and then come with this pot over here and drop it in between the fronts. So I don't know if you can hear that, but there should be like this sound effect of like fire burning from the torches in Hideout. That sound is how I can know that I'm in Hideout. Well, I'm in both rooms at once right now. You can go further forward if you want, and then you'll be able to see both rooms, but I'm just going to drop this here. The whole point is so it doesn't drop a rupee. As you can see, it didn't drop a rupee because we were in between both rooms. Okay, so then you're going to come back into Observatory, come all the way back in. You don't have to come like all the way over here, but like at least come to like the mouth here, you know? You just want to be outside of that middle zone. And now we are going to drop bomb and allocate a spin. For this one, I'm not very good with this loading plane. I don't know exactly where it is. So I'm just going to do like a little side hop setup where I line up so the middle of Link's head is like just to the left of that black line. And then I do 2 side hops left. And then we're just going to do a charge spin. We're going to drop bomb and do a charge spin. I probably should have just let that hit me, but whatever. Okay, and now we're going to come back in. And we are going to break the side pot. And we are going to break the front pot. The one we are not going to break that way is this pot, because for this one we need to allocate the rupee. And yeah, I think this is another one of the cases where I need to be fast about the charge. So let's just give it a go here. Alright, good. The rupee's still there. And now it's gone. And now, the last thing is we're going to super slide off the side pot. This is the only heap where we use the side pot. I think this is the one you use 100% for chest around. So if you're familiar with that category, you'll probably know how to do this already. But you're just going to get inverted can off this wall. And for this one, you want the front pot to break. So normally, when you're doing this in Hundo, you would drop the bomb in between those 2 black marks on the wall. But where I'm standing right now is perfect for this, because we want the bomb to break the front pot, but not the side pot. So I look for like the front of Link's head to be in front of the black mark on the right. I don't know if you see that big black like stain mark on the wall, but it's like in the middle of Link's head right now, which is a great place to drop this bomb. Okay, and that pot broke like we wanted. Cool. And now we're just going to do a little setup again. Just to show you how it works. That's right. I need to stop doubting myself. I think that angle should be good. Nope. Really hope I don't flash it. Well. Oh no. Don't do it, don't do it. Okay. I was afraid that targeting that Cucko was going to crash. But it didn't. We got it. Right? I honestly can't tell. I think this is the right angle. I'm just gonna assume that it's right. And hopefully it is. Oh my god. No, don't target the backpack, please. No, stop. I'm really bad at these 1.1 episodes. I think that's right. Okay, there we go. Whew. Huzzah! Okay, I was so worried that I was going to fail the angle setup. I was very, very worried about that. But we did it. We got our credits for it. So yeah, that is the conclusion of this video. We have covered all 6 heap manips today that have never been found for this credits work. And one of the heap manips, which is the ISoT heap, which is the very first one we started using, works on both versions. And then 3 of the heaps only work on 1.0, and 2 of the heaps only work on 1.1. The 2 heaps that only work on 1.1 both only require 1 bomb drop, which is really awesome. And I believe that the second one of those is faster than the other, but that can be timed later. You can just do whichever one you're comfortable with for now. And then there's 1 heap for 1.0 that only needs 1 bomb drop, but it does require breaking the balloon and playing ISoT twice, so it's pretty slow. But, you know, if you are just getting really bad bomb RNG and you don't want to mess with it, you can just do the 3 bomb version for 1.0. 1.0 is still going to be the fastest version. Well, not still. Now it is going to be the fastest version of the game because the bomb-only heat manip is by far the fastest one out of these 6, because it only works on 1.0. So 1.1 people, the fastest heat for you is probably going to be the 3-spin heat at the bottom of the list. And I don't know exactly what the difference between those 2 heats are, time-wise. My guess is like 10 seconds. Or it's probably a little over 10 seconds, but I think the difference between the versions would be 10 seconds, because 1.1 was already faster in Observatory with the angles of the walls, like getting nice angle setup was already faster. So, yeah, basically TLDR, I think 1.0 is like around 10 seconds faster now, but it's not a lot. It's more than we've had yet with Observatory, but it's still way better than Graveyard Out, where it was like 2 minutes faster. And yeah, so I would say if you have 1.1, I would just, unless you're going for like a really, really insane time, which, let me point out, nobody has yet beaten the world record, which was on Graveyard Route, which is like much slower than Observatory Route. And Observatory Route has been being run for like several weeks now, so nobody is at the level yet where they should be buying a different cartridge just because they have the slow one. Especially when the difference is like at most like 10 seconds. So yeah, just run whichever one you have is my recommendation. And the nice thing is that even if you do have the slow version, which is 1.1, it has so much less RNG involved because it only needs 1 bomb drop instead of 2. Whereas the fast heat for 1.0 needs 2 bomb drops. And I can't tell you how many runs that I've reset due to only getting 1 bomb drop. Or sometimes getting 0 bomb drop, but especially for only getting 1 bomb drop. And that wouldn't even be a problem for 1.1 people. So I would say that 1.1 is probably the category that's like more fun to run since there's less RNG. But yeah, 1.0 is going to be a little bit faster. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, 1.1 people, don't do the bomb only manip. It doesn't work on your version. I was lying about that in the original tutorial because I didn't properly test. I only half tested it, and the half test worked, but I didn't do a full test, and the second part of the test would have failed. So 1.1 people do the free spin manip. 1.0 people do the bomb only manip. Unless you only got one bomb drop, in which case you can do the balloon plus 2 ISoT heap. The rest of these heaps don't have much of a purpose, in my opinion. But I just wanted to document them here because, you know, Kyle put in some hard work finding all these, and I just want them to all be out there. And yeah, please do whichever heap that works on your version that you're comfortable with. So like, even though I'm telling you like you should do the bomb only for 1.0 and the 3 spin for 1.1, if you have 1.1 and you like the balloon one better, do the balloon. If you have 1.0 and you like the Deku one better, do the Deku one. You know, or if you've been doing the ISoT one all this time and so you're really good at it, like at this point I have that one memorized because I've done it so many times. You can just keep doing the ISoT feature. Just do whatever comes to it. Anyways, but that is why there's all these options here for you. And now that you've seen them all, you should know how to do them all. Have a great rest of your day, and I'm sure that I will see you all again soon. Bye!